Hello my dear friends, myself Dhanya Divakar. Once again a warm welcome to my channel Shades of Literature. Today I'll be doing the second part of the fourth chapter, and the chapter is titled as Mutual Foundations. So before going into the chapter, let me just give you a brief gist of what I did in the first part of the fourth chapter, and the chapter was titled as On National Culture. In this chapter, Fanon speaks about the pre-colonial culture and says that pre-colonial culture cannot be reclaimed. Further, he places the culture on the continental level and takes up the example of Africa, how Africa was portrayed as savage to the rest of the world. From this point, he arrives at a conclusion and says that culture cannot exist on continental level, rather culture can exist only on national level. Towards the end of the chapter, Fanon focuses on the three developmental stages of writers, and he concludes the chapter by saying that national culture is the way how people try to describe, justify and extol the struggles of liberation. At this note, he ends the first part of the fourth chapter. Now coming to the second part of the fourth chapter, and the chapter is titled as Mutual Foundations. So now as the first point, Fanon says that national culture under colonialism is a culture under interrogation, whose destruction is sought systematically. He explains this point further. He says that the colonizers, it's not enough for the colonizer, or the colonizers are not satisfied by colonizing nations or conquering nations. Rather, they want to make the other part of the world or the rest of the world believe that these colonized nations does not have a culture of their own. Fanon also says that the colonizers, they also made the colonized people believe that their culture, the culture of the colonized people, their culture is inferior. Why did they make the people believe that their culture is inferior? Because they wanted to rule them, or they wanted to colonize them. Only if they could make the people believe that their culture is inferior could they really put the power on those people, and could they really take away all the resources whichever the colonized people had. So the best way was to play with their emotions, and the best way was to play with their culture. So the colonizers did that in every possible way they could. Similarly, when this issue was going on, when the colonized people, when they themselves made it a point to take themselves as inferior, what did the colonized intellectuals do? The colonized intellectuals delved deep into the culture of the colonizer. So varied responses were coming from the part of the colonized people. So we'll see what the colonized intellectuals did. The colonized intellectuals, they delved deep into the culture of the colonizer. They understood, or they made their mind in such a way that, okay, my culture is inferior, I accept that, and the culture of the colonizer is superior. So this is what the colonized intellectuals did. So Fanon says that this is the main reason that national culture is under interrogation, and the culture under colonialism is destroyed systematically. At this note, Fanon ends his first point of the second part of the fourth chapter. Now coming to the second point. In the second point, Fanon speaks about the concept of nationhood and national consciousness. He says that any culture condemned by the colonial power is in itself an example for nationhood. So we know that every nation has different kinds of cultural expression, and if their culture is condemned by the colonizer, that serves to be an example for nationhood. Means to say that the nation, or the identity of a nation, has been decided by the culture. This is what Fanon says. He says that after hundreds of years of colonizations, very little of national culture is left. He also says that the hundreds of years of colonization has left, or the culture has become rigid, in the extreme, congealed and petrified. Now what does this mean? The word petrified means frozen. So the years, all these years of colonization and oppression has resulted in a situation where the culture is frozen, or the culture has become rigid. It's no more flexible. Fanon also says that literatures also changed. Means to say that people started writing literature, the national literature started to change, and also the national consciousness. As and when the idea of national consciousness changed, the colonized intellectuals, their writings also became different. The rigidity in cultural expressions result in an overdrive production of literatures, in an overdrive production of national literatures, and this has diversity in it. At this note, he ends the second point. Now coming to the third point, Fanon speaks about national literature and music. He says that national literature is like combat literature, and this creates a sense of national consciousness amongst the people. Oral literature also starts to change in due course. He says that battles are modified and updated to recent struggles, heroes and weapons. Coming to the storytellers, they often responded to the expectations of the people, and when they made any mistake, the storytellers often resorted to new national heroes or new national models. Fanon also says that comedy and farce are merely non-existent, as in drama. Now coming to music. He says that music also awakens national consciousness. He takes up an example. He takes the example of jazz, which emerged in United States as a result of the defeat of South in civil wars. And Fanon also says that it's unbelievable that the very old jazz has been defended by the whites who believed in frozen images, a specific kind of negritude. This fact also has been portrayed by Fanon in the third point. Now coming to the concluding part of the fourth chapter, Fanon says that cultural expression is the most important priority of a nation. He also says that a nation exists, or a nation has its voice just because of its culture. A nation represents its own livelihood or its own existence to the other parts of the world just by reciprocating its cultural heritage. This is what Fanon says. He also says that by retracing the past culture, okay, it's fine and good to retrace the past culture, but it's all till a point where this very idea of colonization ends. Once this colonialism ends, the colonized also are dead. Colonialism is dead, so as the colonized also. This is what Fanon says, and he says that culture, it's the supreme expression of a nationhood, and it's the heightened state of national consciousness. At this note, he ends the fourth chapter. I hope I have done justice to the fourth chapter, the first part as well as the second part. If at all you have any queries, please do ask in my comment box. So hope you all are safe at home. Stay safe, take care. I'll be coming up with the fifth chapter in my next video. Until then, big thanks from me. Do subscribe my channel if you like my video. Also ping on the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you. Bye bye.